Hey everyone, and welcome to Pacific Standard, guys. My name is Carter Briggs, and with me, as always, are the two other hosts of this show, Mason Winter.
Salutations.
And Abel Stoika.
Whoa, that was loud. Yeah, I'm here. Let's talk about The Giver.
Yo, we are talking about the fucking Giver. And I apologize, listeners. I missed last week because I was working like 16 hours a day, and the city in which I live in was on fire. So, so I was unable to record. But I just have one question, and it's going to be really quick, guys. Why the fuck did you make me watch The Giver?
I was hoping we would cover this.
Because I wanted to hear you say those very words.
It was partially that, but then it was also... What was the category again, Abel? Remind me.
It was, the world is actually bad. That's what it was.
And I think you came up with that, Carter?
I did. This is my own fault. I've been hoisted by my own petard.
Abel and I felt a certain, ambiguousness to that. And so we were like, what does that even mean? And then, somehow we landed on The Giver.
Okay.
I think we're talking about, teen dystopia. I don't know. I hadn't seen The Giver movie, but I had read the book. So I was like, this is a great opportunity to watch a new movie. I'm sure Carter's got opinions on it. So
fucking let's do it. You guys do my rant's going to be long and ridiculous. So you guys, do your reviews. What do you got for me? Actually, that's not how we do this show.
That's not how we do this.
I've been gone for 1 week and I've lost the entire plot. Who's selling what happened?
Tell me about movie? The Giver, Carter.
God damn it, man.
I can do it. I'll save you, Carter. I'll spare you.
No, I can do it. It's fine. I never do this. All right. Fucking The Giver. Here's what happens in The Giver. So we start. We have a character. His name, I forget. Who gives a shit? Jonas. We have the character.
Come on.
The character of Jonas. And he lives in a teen dystopia world. And it's in black and white. And you get an injection every morning. And they assign you your jobs. And when you're 9, they give you a bike. You don't.
Those are the only things that happen.
Well, that's the setup to the world. It fucking also, you're not with your parents that you're born with. There's birth mothers, and then you're born, and then you get assigned to a family if you as a baby meet certain requirements. So anyway, everybody's being given their jobs. Jonah has 2 friends, love interest girl and
Cal Kestis.
And Cal Kestis slash one
slash
of the
Joker
Gallaghers.
from Gotham.
Slash Joker from Gotham slash one of the Gallaghers. I forgot his first name.
He's a roughhousing best friend from childhood.
He's a roughhousing funny guy, even though there's not really jokes in this world. Anyway.
He says, is a very funny line, something like, whoever's listening, don't make me vice chancellor of waste management, please.
Please, I do not. That was a
great line. That's my favorite line from the movie.
That's hilarious. I must say, comedy's comedy. Anyway. They live in a world where nobody is in love. These injections make you not a person. They kind of make you a robot. They're given jobs, and Jonas is given the job of being the receiver of the knowledge, of the memories of the world. And so he goes to his new boss, who is the Giver. Title of the movie and the book. Woo, yay! And the Giver gives him memories, and then Jonas gets the memories and he learns about being a person and what it means to feel and love and to see color and art and yada, 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 yada. And then he realizes that the teen dystopia he's in is a bad teen dystopia and they're going to kill his adopted baby brother. So he gets the brother and he runs away on a motocross bike. And then he walks for a long time.
And then he sleds.
It's
And then if you sled fast enough or far enough or go somewhere far enough, then the whole encampment for some reason just gets freed from
They get their
being
memories.
robot people.
They get genetic memories.
But they don't have... How long has this existed? Because I feel like they've lived in this society long enough that everyone who's alive wasn't alive for a time before the society.
Well, that's literally what the Giver says, who's old as fuck.
And what are they remembering?
I don't know. I have a lot of questions on what the fucking memories are. That's a big part of my rant, actually, Abel, is what the fuck are the memories? What are they?
What the fuck are memories?
Well, I know what a memory is, but you know what I don't remember? The Vietnam War. Because I wasn't in that. You know what I mean? I don't fucking have that memory, but Jonas does, and now apparently so does everyone else.
Yeah, it's very... The rules don't matter because they don't exist, which is very funny for a movie that focuses so much on the rules being part of the society.
That is about rules, which fine, I'll suspend my... I can't start my rant. You guys do your reviews. I can't start it yet. Do your reviews.
Well, the first thing that I noticed was with the crossing the barrier and the memories returning rule. As soon as I thought that was kind of absurd, I was like, well, hold on, wait a minute. Taking medications and an injection that take away emotions like love, that's kind of absurd as well, I kind of think. But
yes.
I think it's very funny that the whole plot of the movie hinges on people not having emotions, except that they totally do just when the story needs them to have emotions.
Yes.
I was going to say, it feels really turned
do.
up the first 10 minutes.
Yes.
How they speak and commune with each other.
You can't make a story with humans without emotions, because then it's just not a story, really.
Yes.
That's the whole part about storytelling, is that people have emotions and they express them through their actions and stuff. His mom, Jonas's mom, is constantly disappointed with him.
She's such an angry, disappointed asshole the whole movie. And I'm like, bitch, take your injections. Come on now.
Alexander Skarsgård didn't he did okay with the whole being a robot thing. He also looks crazy young in this movie. I thought he was I looked him up and he's 38 when this movie came out, which is crazy because he doesn't look old enough to be this guy's dad.
Well, he's not.
The hero boy, Jonas? That actor, he looks just like, what do you call it? The prototypical teen dystopia protagonist. Face. I'm surprised he wasn't in more stuff. I think he's Robin in the Titans show that
he is.
I've heard is really bad. This movie rips off. Actually, no, it doesn't rip off because the book's from the 90s. The whole ceremony part is ripped straight out of this and put straight into Divergent. It's the exact same kind of thing.
Yeah, a somehow worse movie.
I am so excited for the time that we get to talk about Divergent because holy shit, that movie's horrible. And they just get worse and worse.
Oh no. Oh well, whatever. Mason, what you got anything else, dude? What do you got?
I mean, I refreshed myself on the book because I think, did we read it in middle school?
We read it in middle school in 7th grade in school.
Right. So I didn't really remember the plot that much. I think I explained to Abel last week. The only thing I remembered loosely was him walking in the end in the snow with the sled.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
The baby on the sled.
Yeah. But I read the synopsis again and went chapter by chapter reading summaries to try and recap what the book was about.
You were about to fake.
I was about to do a report, Yeah. After watching the movie, I don't know. I felt I remembered this movie being received badly, but after watching it, it felt like a decent interpretation of the book, to me at least.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
I agree. I think they add more sci-fi elements from the book, the drone shit. But
one of the notes I had was dirt bike chase with a jet is way cooler than hiking with a sled through the snow.
Yes. That's the only deviation. This is a pretty faithful adaptation actually.
That's what it felt
the
like.
Book. That's what I remember cuz we watched this movie in school too. They had us read the book and then they showed us the movie. So, I remember it being a very faithful adaptation. My problem is with both. My problem is with the story in general. But anyway, continue, Mason, please, because I have a whole. I'll get into it after you say your piece about it.
Well, no, I felt like it was a pretty faithful interpretation, and in terms of the cast, it was pretty stacked. I felt like they did pretty well, even considering too. I was surprised going into it that the movie was only like an hour and a half long, as opposed to like a 2 hour long thing.
It is a short book, though.
Short.
It's a
That
short
also
book.
is true. Yeah, granted. I felt like they were able to still hit all the story beats pretty well, showcase what the story of the book told.
They definitely did. Okay, this is going to be a rant heavy episode, listeners. I'm sorry. So I'm going to do my giver rant, and then I have a second rant.
The cast is kind of stacked, to be fair, as
The
well.
cast,
got
the
Taylor
cast
Swift,
is
dude.
stacked.
I was gonna say, did you know that was Taylor Swift, Carter?
The
Giver's daughter in the flashbacks.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
That's
I
Taylor
didn't even.
Swift.
I did not even notice that.
You can tell she's a really good actor because they don't show her face at all, even though she's Taylor Swift.
Anyway, okay, I'm starting my rant. Here's where the rant starts. Here's my main problem with this movie. The injections are kind of silly. Fucking the memories, how do they work, right? Obviously, those are fine. Like, I'll suspend my disbelief because it's a teen dystopia and who gives a shit at the end of the day. Here is my problem with this book and with this movie. It's such, like, and this is why we learned about it in 7th grade and we read it in 7th grade. It's such, like, it's barely a theme. It barely has a theme, but it has enough thematic elements that a teacher can go, look at what they're trying to say with this. But if you think about it, other than like the academic way of showcasing to children that books and movies are trying to tell you something and teach you something and that they have a message, what the fuck is the message? This is my question to the author of this book. Who, like, most teen dystopias, most, like, dystopias in general, most things with a theme, are pointing out a problem in our society right now, like, a thing that we do, and they just take it to the extreme, right? So, like, Hunger Games is about fascism. It's about controlling women's bodies. It's about controlling children's bodies. It's about people being viewed as chattel and, like cogs in a machine, and it's about how a fascist dictatorship would go about controlling them, and it's putting a little teen spin on it by having teens fight in an arena, right? That's what makes the Hunger Games, I think, work as a thematic thing, as a teen dystopia with a thematic element, right? It's actually saying something about problems we have now, and I would say, like, especially, whatever, I'm not going to get into the theme of Hunger Games, we'll get into that when we do it.
The older I get, the more I firmly am more confident that I really like the Hunger Games.
That's what it is saying something. What the fuck is the Giver saying? The Giver is like, emotions are good. Yeah, man, who fucking said that they weren't? Like, what are we doing in society where we're like, man, really, like, because it's not, there are aspects of society where we downplay and we make emotions like the enemy. We really, like, take them away from people. But this book doesn't make any of those aspects of society the extreme. It's just like, what if society, but with no feelings, right?
Could you not draw comparisons between, like, the injections and the medications they're taking and the amount of medications that, like, the general populace takes on, like, a daily basis?
There's that. Like, I got that, but that's such a small part of this. And it's not the main crux of the thing.
No, but it's also a controlling, overbearing state.
Right. But
like, that's every dystopian novel.
Yes, yeah, it is. My problem is not that it's a controlling, overbearing state. My problem is what aspect of our life now is it saying is too controlling? Like, what specifically? Because the Hunger Games, like, I don't know, I've never read Divergent, and those movies were bad, so I don't fucking remember them. But, like, most dystopias, they pick a thing. This book and this movie's theme make no sense to me because it's the overbearing government, controlling government, right? But most overbearing and controlling governments, especially ours now, distract you with your feelings. Like, they use your feelings against you because people like their feelings. So
they're unaware, they're drones. They have
right.
no concept of what that means.
But the world had to start. Like, they had to start that at some point. My problem with this is, how did you convince everyone to not feel? It makes no sense. Like, nobody is approaching the world and being like, feelings are stupid, we should get rid of them. or like feelings are in the way of us achieving a perfect society. No one is saying that.
Like the movie kind of makes you think that maybe there's like that everyone just agreed that this was the best way to do things, but nobody would agree to that. And I think that's kind of the point when the main character kind of gets the emotions like given to him by the giver like the first time, and he like freaks out and he's like, this is crazy, like why would you give this up?
He immediately is like, this is the greatest. So
I think your assumption is that the people in this society would have chosen that.
That's what the movie kind of conveys, but like what would make the most sense to me is that it was like something that was forced upon this little community. There's no context as to why they got to this place or why things got so bad. Which
for a movie all about memories, we know nothing about how this world actually started.
I was never under the impression that they all chose that.
Right, but then how do you do that? Because people would notice if they stopped seeing color. You know what I mean?
Well, they got their memories wiped.
No, I don't mean from my understanding, this is multiple generations in. I'm talking about Generation A, the first generation who's in this community. I feel like would fucking notice if all of a sudden one day they took an injection and they were like, hey, where'd the fucking color red go? That's actually crazy. Where the fuck did the color red go?
Not if it's forced on them.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like they were like maybe like given the injection and like subdued for like weeks, and then like their memories were like wiped or whatever.
Okay. The problem with it isn't that it's happening. The problem with it is what to what end, right?
Yeah.
What are you saying? Hey, look at this world. It would be bad if people stripped you of your memories and your ability to feel and your ability to see color. Yeah, it would. Like, yes. And like, what else? What are you saying about the world? Because that's the point of dystopia. The point of the dystopia genre, the point of 1984, the point of the Hunger Games, the point of Divergent. And I think Divergent, from what I understand about the books and why people like the books, Divergent literally goes, if you're different and you don't fit into a certain mold, this society throws you away. It kills you. That's the major crux of Divergent, right? Like there's castes in their society, and if you don't fit, you're thrown out, which is a thing that happens in our world. But what is the giver's, what aspect of our society, I guess, is the giver calling into question directly? That's my question. And I don't think there's an answer, right? And that's why I can't watch this movie because I don't, at the end of the day, I don't fucking care. It's not that entertaining of a movie. It is very faithful to the book, but also it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
So like if you're a dystopia and you're kind of boring and you have nothing to say about the world I live in, like the real world, what are you doing? That's the point of your genre.
Well, I think that this was the 90s, I think, when the book came out. So like there wasn't like a whole treasure trove of cookie cutter teen dystopia books. Like, I mean, there might have been some stuff like before it, but it really blossomed in like the early 2010s. And I think now it feels extra outdated and not as well thought out because there's so many other examples of authors like completing that idea to varying levels of success.
Well, I think, I don't even care. Like, if it was pre-dystopia, it has a bunch of elements of dystopias that aren't in this in the movie. That's really the only thing the movie adds, is it adds some teen dystopia shit to it, like the hover fucking bikes and shit. My problem with this isn't that it's not a dystopia. My problem with this is that, and I think it might be because me and Mason read it in school and were forced to like examine the themes of it, and so I'm bitter. But my problem with this book and with this movie is, what is the theme? What are you saying? Like, you have a bunch of topics, emotion, fucking subjugation, fascism, all this. You have so many topics, but what are you saying about them, and what are you saying about the real world? Everything that has a theme, every movie, every book that has a theme is saying something. Tolkien was saying industrialism is evil and it's killing the natural magical world we live in. That's what Tolkien was saying. Dune was saying there are no good guys among the rich, right? Like, things, no matter the genre, are saying a specific thing. And this doesn't say anything. It just says, it'd be pretty bad if we didn't have our emotions, huh? To which everyone, no matter what you believe, goes, yeah, who the fuck? Like, it's not covering any new ground.
Like, I think that it wants to give off the impression that it's like making a statement about something, but it's really just kind of like holding themes in front of your face and just being like, you get it?
No, exactly.
Which is like,
that's my
it
problem.
makes sense because it's like for kids. Like, I think it works okay as a kid's book, like an introduction to, like, if all you've read is, I can't think of any like kids books that would be
I don't know how to tell you this. Children's books like No David and the Bernstein Bears have more powerful and poignant thematic moments than this book.
Well, like, I think it's interesting because it kind of, it's not that interesting, but like it's like trying to get like young people to like start, like, that's when you start to like question authority more, is when you're like early teens. It's kind of aimed at that age group where you're like starting to kind of question authority. And then here's this book about like, why are you like just trying to get you to ask questions about stuff? And it doesn't really like have anything more to it than that, besides like basic stuff about like emotions or whatever. And I really didn't like in the movie how they, for some reason that I need to let this go, that everybody just starts feeling emotions, and basically all that happens is they play inspirational music and they show like a slideshow of like random things, and then everybody stares like off into the distance like they just watched a fucking atomic bomb go off for the first time.
The guy decides not to kill the baby. That's my other question. How robotic are we supposed to believe these people are?
Very, according to the dad.
Well, I guess my question is, like, how much are these medications overriding? Because all living things don't like death. They avoid death, and they naturally understand what the fuck it is. It's like an instinct.
Yeah.
Like, an antelope doesn't understand the philosophical questions that human asks surrounding death, but it does go, hey, that thing is dead. That thing that I just saw die is now dead, and I understand what that is. And I don't want it to happen to me, so I'm going to run away from this cheetah. My disbelief was kind of like stretched. Like, the injection's fine, everything fine. I've said it's fine. My disbelief was stretched when the guy killed a baby and then was like, well, time to send it off to its nice life on the farm. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Like, I think the point that it was trying to make was that it was like he didn't know what his actions were doing, like, to it. Like, he had no concept of like death or like murder or whatever. And then when all these memories flood back, now he knows what murder is. I don't understand how that works. And now he knows, like, oh, murder's bad. I shouldn't be doing this. Like,
but also, the man clearly feels intense empathy because he takes the child into his home and breaks the rules to give the kid the best shot.
Yeah, why does he break the rules?
Well, that's what my question is.
Because he showed human emotion?
Yeah, like, is he a robot or is he a human? Like, he took the kid in, he broke the rules, but now that it's like the climax of the book, he's like, well, I gotta kill it. Come on, those are the rules.
Yeah, he's a robot, except for when the plot demands that he is not.
It's very inconsistent. The themes aren't there. Also, I have a funny story. It's also a rant. Mason, were you in the class in high school where they made us read Ethan Frome? This is about sleds.
I think.
Do you remember Ethan Frome?
Vaguely.
Okay, listeners, Ethan Frome is the worst book I've ever read. It's awful. It also ends with a sledding adventure. A lot of the books in our high school, for some reason, ended in sledding adventures. Which is also how Citizen Kane ends. I think there were a lot of people who watched Citizen Kane and were obsessed with sleds for a little while. Anyway, Ethan Frome fucking sucks. It's a bad book, and they forced us to read it, and it sucks. And if you ever see it, I really think all copies of Ethan Frome should be thrown in the ocean. It's such a bad book. It ends with a guy attempting suicide by sled. That's real life. Look it up. It's hilarious. Anyway, every time I hear about a sled, now I think about that book. And when I was watching the end of this and there was the stupid sledding scene, I was like, man, is he trying to kill himself like Ethan Frome? And I did laugh a little bit at that. But fucking look up Ethan Frome. It's the worst book you'll ever read. And ridicule it.
They made a movie out of it. Should we watch it?
I know. No, I watched it in school. That was another thing I had to watch is fucking Liam Neeson try to kill himself with a sled. I did have to watch that, yes.
Guess how much money that movie made?
$2.
It made, in 1993, it made $296,000.
What was its budget?
It doesn't say here on Wikipedia, but probably more than that.
More than 200.
If it's got Liam Neeson in it, I think was that the year that Schindler's List came out?
Might have been.
Yes, it was. It was the same year. He's in this movie that didn't even crack 300K. That's embarrassing.
Anyway, quick, that was my little tangent. That was my second rant. That's my review of The Giver. Big thumbs down. Didn't like it. I looked it up. It was a grown woman who wrote it. She was like 40 when she wrote it. It really reads like a teenager's first attempt at theme, which is fine because that would be a teenager writing it, but not a grown woman with like a bestseller. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Did you know that Jill Biden's book sold 250 copies in its first week?
250?
Uh-huh.
That's so few.
That's quite a lot.
That's
probably more than I could sell.
Abel, that's just because you don't believe in yourself, bro. I mean, if you wrote a biography, yes, it would probably not sell well, Abel.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Because you're like a 24-year-old who does a podcast.
Yeah, I'm not going to write the book. Not because I don't think I should, but because I just don't believe in myself.
No, wait. Believe in yourself, Abel. No, wait.
It's okay. I don't need to do my passion, my lifelong passion.
Your lifelong passion
about my life.
Your lifelong passion is to write a biography. That's some narcissist shit, Abel.
Yeah, I should get that out of the way so I can start doing other stuff.
I'd go to therapy about that, bro. That's crazy.
I'm going to write it, and it's going to be called 23 Things I Learned While Being 23.
I'd buy it. That's not true. I'd ask you for a free copy. Anyway.
You're not a very good friend.
Oh, God. Anyway, that's my review of The Giver. You guys got any other thoughts? Any other thoughts about the Giver, the movie The Giver?
The dialogue is horrible.
Isn't it supposed to be? I will defend it. Isn't it kind of supposed to be?
I hope so.
Right, Mason?
I can't tell.
Isn't that the conceit? I mean, they kind of go in and out of talking like robots, but isn't the conceit that they talk weird and like emotionless?
Precision of language, Carter.
That pissed me off.
We gotta start saying that.
Every time the mom said that, god damn.
Dude, I literally
Precision
went back.
of language.
I went back to my like teenage self and my
Dad,
blood
do you
boiled.
love me? Precision of language.
Jeez.
But he's family. Precision of language. No, we're gonna kill the baby.
I will say that like I don't always like to thematically analyze the stuff I watch. Sometimes I just like to turn my brain off. Similar to like Lord of the Rings, I don't love it because of industrialism. I love it because of elves and dwarves and Balrogs and cool shit.
Yes.
But if we're gonna pick apart this movie, there's two things I did notice. So what's the high mighty lady? That's what I wrote down. What's her?
Meryl Streep.
Yeah, what's her title?
I called her Mayor Streep. I don't know what her fucking High Chancellor or some shit.
So Cal Kestis straight up lied to her at the end.
Dude, he did lie, and nobody knows how to lie. I literally wrote that down. I was like, he inexplicably lies.
He lied.
Wikipedia says that he bent the truth. Would like to point that out.
Okay, I could kind of see that because he did say it's done. Like, he didn't really say, like, I got him. Also, it was the girl who was going to be injected, right? And killed at the end.
Yeah. Girl crush.
and behind like the glass, the giver and Meryl Streep are arguing.
Mm-hmm.
She knew about things like war and famine and was bringing them up.
Yeah, so she has the memories too.
Yeah. So do high up government officials still have memories?
I don't know. This is my point. It's never made clear what everybody knows or what anybody knows.
It's really funny for a book and story that's just all about questioning authority. And then as soon as you start to question the story, it doesn't make any sense.
It all falls
Maybe
apart.
that was really why this book won so many awards, is because it's a meta commentary about literary analysis.
It's meta.
Did you notice anything in the credits?
I didn't watch the credits.
They played
dude. I
that
turned
annoying
this
song
off, so-
again.
One of the first names that stood out, Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah,
Yo!
I noticed that from the beginning. The Weinstein Company. And the director's name is Philip Noyce.
Noise.
I found that too funny.
I think there was actually a moment that I did laugh out loud. You know how they don't have concept of things like pain?
Yeah.
When Jonas punched Asher in the face and dropped him, I laughed out loud because my brain was immediately like, Asher's never experienced pain. He probably just
Well,
got hit in the face with a missile.
they also take painkillers, so no, he didn't.
I don't know though.
He might have
Isn't
felt
part
like
of their
an
morning-
inkling of it.
Yeah, part of their morning cocktail is like that's the only part that we're told outright that they take is painkillers.
No, because then when something happens that does inflict pain, when he got hurt, he was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh,
Well, I think he was just surprised that he would get punched. Like,
well,
I
he
don't
doesn't
think
know
it
what
was
a
really
punch
ow
is.
that hurts. It's like, ow, like, what the fuck, man? Why'd you do that?
And like in a society where nobody's breaking the rules, like where like they do that sled thing down the big arch or whatever. If no one's doing random tomfoolery, childhood shenanigan stuff, they're not gonna get hurt. Like,
Well, also, my question: the Asher friend is like afraid of sledding down the thing. You wouldn't learn. The reason we learn to fear doing dumb shit is because we do dumb shit and it hurts.
Yeah.
Pain is super integral to not hitting your head on a bunch of shit. I don't know. This movie makes no sense.
Yeah. Honestly, like, the more we try to pick it apart, the more frustrated I get. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. There's no point. There's no use.
In this review of The Giver, I like how you guys are giving up on the review of The Giver after picking to do The Giver.
Hey, I'm not done reviewing it.
well,
I
I
didn't say
didn't
that.
like. I took a few notes. I thought it was like fine, and then Carter spent like 30 minutes eviscerating it. So I was kind of sitting there idly, like I don't really know what to chime in with.
Like, I wouldn't say that I've given any, like, positives, but I don't think it was, like, horrible. That's, like, every episode I feel like we all just, like, at least me and Carter just dog on every movie, and then we're like, oh, it's fine. Except for the ones
I'm not
that
going
we
to say
like.
this one was fine. I'm putting my foot down on this episode.
What
This
do you
one.
give? What are you giving it? Are you ready for a
I'm gonna-
rating?
I'm ready to give my rating. Do you guys have anything more to say?
No.
Guess not.
Mason, do you have anything to say?
Favorite quotes.
Oh, favorite quotes. I didn't write one down.
I still got my whoever's listening, don't make me vice chancellor of waste management, please. Classic zinger from friend character.
My favorite quote actually is
If you take mine, I
is
swear to God.
fucking precision of language. That's my favorite
yeah, that's
quote.
a good
Just
one.
the whole fucking whole movie.
I'm taking it back to the choosing ceremony. Thank you for your childhood. I
That's a good one.
I did not understand that at all, and then they just kept quoting it. And then also they like when Jonas was announced as receiver, everyone started chanting Jonas's name, which was really like weird. Definite cult vibes.
Oh yeah,
No,
it's
it's
like a commune.
fucking weird. Anyway, rating time. Let's do it.
Yeah, what would you give this, Carter?
I would give this. I want to give the giver back the memory of watching this. 2.
2. Okay, that's
2.
lowest I think anyone's given anything so far. I would give it a 4.
Wait,
think.
what did I give Charlie Brown's?
I think you gave it a 5, honestly.
Did I? Okay.
I think so.
I'm nicer than I thought.
Yeah, I was torn between like a 4 or like a 3, but I thought it was fine for what it was, which was an adaptation of a book that I hardly remember. I would show this to somebody who is like 12.
I'll give it a 5.
Cool.
Okay.
I won't elaborate.
That's it. Done.
Precision of language.
No.
Precision of language makes
I didn't
it.
take my injection.
You have to elaborate.
Fuck you guys. No, I thought it was a decent adaptation of the book, like we talked about, but I also didn't think it was like horrid. Like I thought it was decent, and I always felt like The Giver was like not like groundbreaking in any sense, but I always thought it was kind of unique. Oh, like what if we took pills that emotions were gone? I was like, kind of cool premise, I guess.
Yeah, like a Black Mirror type of thing. Like,
Yeah, and like how they explain certain things, like not seeing color, and like how that led to like racism and conflict in the world's past. I was like, certain explanations like that kind of made sense and were kind of cool to me.
I thought it was funny that they got rid of color to end. I don't know if they explicitly say to end racism, but I think that's like what's implied.
That seemed to be
And
implied.
It's very funny that they got rid of color, like to get rid of like, I don't know, racism or like viewing each other's physical appearances, but like there's still like physical differences in people's appearances. Like that would just...
Also, real question, was there a black person or a brown person in the entire community?
No, it was all white
They were
people.
gray. What are you talking about?
Mm.
Everyone was gray.
Mason didn't see color.
Yeah, I don't see color.
Literally, he's taking the fucking
I'm taking the
meds.
medication. I just didn't take the injection.
He did. He took them in pill form. They have a pill form now.
They have a chewy gummy.
No, they still don't have a chewy gummy. They have those chalky Flintstones
Yeah,
vitamins.
they're the Flintstones.
Some of the Flintstones hit. Not the chalky ones, definitely not, but like
The gummy ones? Dude,
Gummies?
I used to eat those like candy. I was so rich in vitamin C. Dude, when I was a kid, it was crazy. Scurvy couldn't get within 1,000 miles of me.
It's so funny. Yeah, they make a point about we got rid of color so we wouldn't be racist, and then it's just a fucking ethno state.
It's all white people. It's fucking all white people.
That's crazy. I didn't even... Oh my god. That's horrible. It's so...
well, that one chick has red hair.
They let the Scots in. They let the fucking Scottish people in. That's good.
Yeah, at least this movie isn't contributing to redhead erasure, you know?
I like how the author clearly wanted the guy to, they wanted Jonas to see a trait of the love interest first. Like that's the first color he really sees and notices.
Yeah.
And so they were like, what hair color is a primary color? Fuck. Give her primary colored hair.
What if you just had black hair?
What if she was a fucking brunette?
Jonas is making a big deal about how he can see her hair color now, and the audience is like, what do you mean?
Whoa, your
What are you
hair,
talking about,
it looks exactly the same. Something's happening.
Also, just a little writer's trick. It would have been better if he saw her eyes, because they're the windows to the soul. Would have been more thematic. Anyway.
Also
whatever.
random,
Doesn't
but
matter.
like calling the feelings of love that they start feeling as children the stirrings. I don't know.
Blech. Gross. Gross. That's fucking gross. Yo, that chick
Precision
is
of
pretty hot.
language.
I'm having the
Precision of
stirrings.
I'm stirring.
Mom.
Mother, I'm stirring.
Mom, I'm stirring. The stirrings are beginning. Take this pill, son.
Close the door. Leave me
Close
alone.
the door.
I'm stirring.
Mom, get out. I'm stirring. That's so stupid.
I walked in on Carter stirring the other day.
You cannot unsee that.
You're with your high school girlfriend. You're like, babe, you want to go back to my place?
Can stir it up a little bit.
It's stirred.
What kind of stirring?
Hey, my parents aren't home. Come stir.
Oh, we're ending up with lumpless mashed potatoes.
I got a Valentine's Day card that says, I got a stew brewing. You want to start?
The pot is simmering.
That's how they would flirt in the Giver universe. That's a brand new sentence. Nobody said that before.
This podcast is so dumb.
I feel like that is precision of language instead of being like, I'm horny, being like, the pot is stirring.
That's a fucking euphemism. That's not precision of language at all.
It's precision of language.
That's not precise at all, bro. Precise would be like, I am currently erect. That would be precision of language.
My pineal glands are engorged.
Blood flow has increased directly to my penis. So stupid.
Anyways, Carter, what have you been watching lately?
I haven't been watching much. Like I said, I was working a lot. But I started watching Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. And it's so good. I love Castlevania, the anime. It's the only good thing on Netflix right now. Marvel Rivals. I played the newest Ratchet and Clank game that everybody hated. I love Ratchet and Clank. Such a good game.
Didn't even know that came out.
It's not recent. It was
Who
like
do you play in Marvel Rivals, Carter? I'm curious.
Me.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy because me and you often play together, Mason. But Jeff the Shark. I like playing Punisher because I'm a basic ass bitch. And then Vanguard, I usually run probably, I don't know. I forgot my Vanguard. It's not coming to me. I never play Vanguard because Mason plays Vanguard. But I have been giving Invisible Woman a try, which sucks because it really makes me look like a pervert. But she is very good competitively. So that's tough for me. What about you, Mason?
My favorite superhero is and always will be Spider-Man. So some hours on Spider-Man. The demands of my team required me to play a tank, though. So I'm playing Penny Parker a lot. Same family. We're in the Spider family still.
Spider family. And do you have a support main, Mason? Who's your support main?
Actually, yeah, Mantis.
Ooh.
She requires more like accuracy though.
Yeah.
Because like in order to heal, you have to hit your attack on enemies. It's weird.
That's how Invisible Woman is as well.
Well, no, but her primary fire heals and does damage.
Yes. No, you don't have to.
Mantis, you have to like
switch
hit
it.
the enemy to get a charge for a different ability that you can then throw at your teammate. So it's a whole. You have to be like shooting at the enemy and then looking at your teammate to throw heals. Yeah, it's a whole. You got to be on it.
You gotta be good. You gotta be cracked. Anyway, Abel,
But
what
she
have you
also
been
has
doing?
like a sleep dart. It's crazy.
I've been resenting the fact that I don't have a piece of technology powerful enough to run Marvel Rivals. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But besides that, I watched this movie, A Real Pain. Jesse Eisenberg is in it, and he directed it. Also has Kieran Culkin.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good. I see a lot of people saying it's like one of the best movies they've ever seen. It's not. It's solid. There's a lot of really good acting. There's a lot of really funny jokes. Jesse Eisenberg is still learning how to direct, is what it feels like. It felt like it was directed very safely, and I wish that there was more that it wanted to say in regards to like how the story was told. But like, yeah, the performances, the script was good. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, and would recommend it to anybody who thinks it looks cool, interesting. I've been reading some comics. I'm reading Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern. I'm in the
legendary.
third book of it. Yeah, I've never read it before. I basically have neglected comics my entire life, and so I'm trying to get as many classic runs like gone through as possible. I'm at the Sinestro War right now. Pretty crazy. That's what I've been reading and watching.
My problem with comics is that I just have like a random medley that I was given to over the years by my uncle, that like most of which are Spider-Man. But for the most part, I don't have any like continuing like series of comics. So that's where I need to get into.
You gotta buy the volumes, Mason. You gotta buy the
I know.
volumes once they're out
Or
fully.
you can do what I do as a broke boy and just go to the library. They have a bunch of shit there.
True.
Because comics are really expensive and they also don't take very long to read.
I have watched one thing recently. I realized I was like, I haven't watched any documentaries in a while. So I was like, what's Netflix got to offer? There's one on the Bitfinex, the crypto hack a couple years ago. That's a wild one. It's like this really weird couple. They're both Silicon Valley like tech people. They basically stole all this cryptocurrency that was worth like a couple $100 million. And then
I've heard of this. Isn't the woman like a rapper?
yes.
She's crazy.
Dude,
she's like one of the
crazy.
worst rappers I've ever
She's
heard.
horrid. She basically, what happened was she had an interview with Aquafina, and Aquafina was like, my persona as Aquafina is way more outgoing than like my real personality as Nora. And then she was like, I'm gonna make an alternate personality where I'm a rapper, and that's Razzlecon, which is her
Razzlecon. That's
alternate
it.
personality. But yeah, so look up Razzlecon if you want to dive into her content. She's wild. But basically they stole all this crypto, and then flash forward to like the Bitcoin explosion, and the Bitcoin that they had stolen was now worth like 4 billion. But they had no way to move it because crypto transactions you can view them publicly. You can't see who like owns the accounts, but you can see when the funds are being moved. And they had no way to launder all this money. So they basically just sat on all this crypto for like all these years, not knowing how to launder it. The case is crazy. The twists that it starts to take at the end, like when they end up going to court, evidence gets scrapped because it's a matter of national security. There's a whole bunch of stuff that this...
What's the movie called?
It's called Biggest Heist Ever.
That's a Netflix-ass movie title if I've ever heard one.
I definitely like those documentaries where like it starts as kind of a simple case, and then towards the end you're like, this has way more avenues than I thought.
Yeah.
This goes all the way to the top.
I can't remember exactly what happens in that case, but like a couple YouTubers that I watched like have been covering it as things have come out, and I've just caught little bits and pieces, and it's just wild.
Well, yeah, basically the dude's dad migrated or emigrated from Russia, and he's also a hacker, and he hacked the National Bank of Indiana in a similar way years ago.
Indiana?
Yeah, the state.
That's crazy. What a weird like state to pick.
He turned informant and started like helping the Secret Service, so they filed no charges against him. But like there's some people who think that like this kid's kind of an idiot and maybe couldn't have pulled this off himself. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of twists and turns.
You watch anything else lately?
The Giver? We could talk about that.
I think Carter might have a thing or two to say about The Giver.
Is it time to spin, brothers?
We don't.
I think
have
it's
to
time
spin.
to fuck.
Oh, you're right. What are we watching next week?
Next week we will be watching Paddington 1. And then the week after we will be watching Paddington 2.
Oh, you guys get a sneak
Preparation
preview.
for Paddington 3, which we will not be watching.
No.
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, we could bring that up on what have we watched recently if we have watched it, but it's not assigned viewing for the pod.
All
Tune
right.
in next week, and we will be watching Paddington 1. So watch that. That's your homework this week.
You got to do the thing too, Abel.
Yeah,
We're not
follow
new to
us
this, Carter.
on-
You're the one who's been gone.
I was letting you take it away, Carter.
Gang, follow us on Twitter, not Twitter, TikTok, fucking Instagram, fucking YouTube. We are working on getting an RSS feed, but right now it just doesn't make any sense for us to do that. What's
We got
our
Blue
blue?
Sky.
We also have a new Blue Sky. What's that, Abel? What's our Blue
That's-
Sky stuff?
Everything else, including our email, which is at gmail.com, everything is Pacific Standard Guys, like it says probably on the video that you're watching right now. But the Blue Sky is PSG Podcast because we were one character over the character limit. We'll be posting same stuff there as everywhere else. We'll be on Blue Sky. Also email us. We would love to hear some feedback from you. So email us.
Email us. PacificStandardGuys@gmail.com. Do it. All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.